This morning, or in the night so extreme it brightens, you could have found me or lost me, planting poppies in a Chinese blouse, eating ice cream in the sun, closing the door, being on the inside and outside, opening the window, letting air in and out, wiping my shoes, displacing dirt, not making the world cleaner. Forgetting the transience of everything, you might have said you loved me or hated me forever. On a whim you viewed as permanent, you might have started a war, or chained my kin to slavery, or recycled their bodies to earth. You might have felt triumph because the sword was in your hands, not in the hands of others. This simple fact. But I might have taken arms against you, and you on the ground may have wondered why your miss had failed you. You may have learned nothing had I not spared you. Meddling woman. The father was an army private who rarely came home. The mother was in a state of permanent partyhood somewhere else. The children aged 5 and 8 months were abandoned 20 hours at a time. The little girl would call me, crying, saying she was afraid, hungry. I read books to her, told her to be brave. This happened every day until, burning, I called Captain Somebody, the father's boss. But he wouldn't touch it. This was the army, he said. Didn't I know that? His job was preventing war. Kids without parents. What did that have to do with war? Ceremony. Soldiers march in like bad actors in a movie I can't believe. Sit in front of a giant flag fluttering from a wind machine. Wives are asked to stand and be recognized, hop up and down like rabbits on chains. A general reads from a comic book on pride and conquering, like a cock crowing for a mate, or a table spread out for king with blood. Glorious battle, where promotions are faster and death is a holiday that never ends. An endless leave, permanent R&R, and the wife gets a poker chip stamped brave in a velvet-lined box like a coffin, and a flag that no longer waves. The growing up dream. I am 5. My grandmother smells like polka dots as she spits something brown into the fire of a cast iron stove. She sews and lies because her warlock won't allow it. But she has powers too. Her false teeth soaking in a clear glass keep me at a distance. I cannot overcome their power of disgust. The little imp who stays with them eats raw bacon, peas on flowers, disappears in the woods to mislead me. After a while we're in a clearing, and there's a house, not of gingerbread with an old witch, but a 2-story shack with an old man whittling a cane on its rotting porch. It hells crab apples, and the cane becomes a snake which chases me for many years. Then finally I stop and make peace with a snake. That day I buy and wear a polka dot dress and smell like a woman. Like Ireland. Remember the leprechaun man at the Folk Museum in Belfast? An official guide he was, who got weirder the more we talked. Soon he was telling of IRA terrorism, devil worship, and hinting at things so much worse he dared not tell. He had quit it all to live a quiet life, to guide people, to entertain, and to scare tourists. When we left, I shook his hand and said, "Perhaps I'll transfer special energy to you through the shake." And he said yes, and I could see that he believed I did. I left my mark on Belfast. Then there was the night you slept through gunshots just outside our window. Others ran through the hotel to the street windows. I was afraid. Imagine the shots were meant for us, the only American tourist in Belfast early March of a troubled year. So I saw nothing. Next day I told you. You were not surprised or interested. The paper reported 3 deaths that night, and every night we were there. A land of ghosts and terrorists and beautiful, imaginative people. And us. We slept in separate beds and never touched. So where was the fiber of your being? What makes you sleep so soundly at night and seem so tense during the day? Where do you travel in your dreams? If only we could reach out, or at least turn toward each other and dream at the same time, locked in a separate oneness, like Ireland. Everything about France but the French. Leaning over Notre Dame Cathedral, a double take with gargoyles, an overcast October, 10 long-haired years ago. I can only remember the tingle of dreams and 200 uneven steps up, and bumping my head on the great bell when chosen to demonstrate its sound quality, and holding back the screams, tears, and curses as the dull thud of my head made bad music in Paris. Later we ordered 2 rooms full of wine, when we had meant to say glasses. The Frenchman, being Turkish, was kind. I remember the disappointing Mona Lisa poking quiet fun eternally to tourists, the snatching of my jacket by women pushing a baby carriage, the descent from Notre Dame to the woman serving transparent ham in cement rolls, slowly and grudgingly, then shoving a tip dish at us, and the dark Sacré-Cœur on the hill where artists believe away their lives. No matter, many Americans have made it home. Many millions have died there, having pissed and puked in bidets, having fallen for the gargoyles of the night, the aura of myth, and the tingle of dreams.